pressure. She's sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there. Battle. Players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not down. Oh, what a run out of this world. Falls up to 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
All right. As far as the injuries go, Clyde has a high ankle sprain. Kadarius Toney hamstring tightened up. Thornhill has a left calf that he strained, and then Jalen Watson hurt his hand, but we'll see where that goes from here. But other than that, listen, a great football game. Our fans were unbelievable, the ones that were here, and we appreciate that. Brandon Staley's done a heck of a job with this football team, and these games come right down to the last series. I mean, it can go either way. I was proud of our guys for stepping up and doing a nice job offensively that last series that they had, and defensively the last series that the defense had. So that's big time football at the right time, and much appreciated. So Kelsey again had another 100-yard game. He's done a nice job with that. It was good to get Pacheco 100 yards. I mean, we needed that today, every yard of it. It was good to see some of the young guys step up, whether it was Watson having a start and Sky stepping in there and doing a nice job on the offensive side. Defensively, Bolton was all over the place. I mean, he's been doing that all year. So, and then Dana had some nice rushes. Chris, he's a great player and made a great play when great players make them. So, did a nice job on that interception. He actually caused that to take place. I mean, I could keep going. The offensive line, Pat Mahomes, I mean, what are you going to say there? So he calms everything down, both sides of the ball he helps out with. And Kelsey does the same, and Chris and Frank, and it was good to have Frank back, Frank and also Bolton. So all those guys, the good players really stepped up and calmed things down when it was needed. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
How calm were you with 1:46 left and having to face what you did as many times as you've done this, but down really about 3 pretty prime targets?
Yeah, didn't even think about that part. We just went in and saying, this is what we have to do. Pat doesn't worry about all that. He just goes in and plays. I mean, these guys, they all practice. Joe rotates all of them. Tom Melvin does the same. And so whoever goes in and plays. And we that's how we roll. Now, as far as practicing it, we spent so much time on that during camp, working on it, and for it to pay off is a good thing. And it seems like every time we come here, it comes down to something like this. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Andy, how you explain how the sort of new faces can be integrated in moments like this that goes all the way back to camp?
Yeah, sure. Well, that and then rotating them in practice. So we've got a lot of rookies that finished that game. So it was neat to see them step up and do what they did, whether it was in the secondary or linebacker or wide receiver. So I mean, it was a neat thing to see those guys do that.
And you're not suggesting that Kelsey is ever something less than valuable to you guys, but you feel like he was maybe more than ever tonight, given?
Well, you know what he battled. They had a plan for him, Adam. I mean, they were going to bang him around, and then they put an all-pro safety on him. So with number 3, and so he had to fight like crazy the whole game, and kind of come up with things on the fly to get himself open. But, it's a tribute to the Chargers and the way they did it, but it's also a great tribute to Kels for battling through.
Sorry. Hey, Coach, can you explain how a guy like Pacheco could last to the 7th round. And what did you guys see in him in that process?
Yeah, so, I mean, really you saw tonight, Brett Veach's, how good he is at doing his job, and Pacheco's one of those guys. He and his crew just, they study it, they see what fits into what we do, and then they're willing to, pull the trigger at the right time. So, and evaluate kind of where they think guys are going to fall, which is it's an art. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Oh, you can overdraft guys, you can underdraft, but at the same time, you're talking about guys that you want to come in and play at least within a year or two, and
Since you've had him, what are some of the things that have impressed you? Because his playing time has obviously increased as the season's gone on.
Yeah, sure. So I would tell you that his growth in the pass protection part of it, even though he had a tough one today with 3 blitzed, but his pass protection, we were confident in that. His patience, I thought, was good. We've been working on that, and I thought he did a nice job with that. So not necessarily speed to the hole, but speed through the hole, and you could see him let the offensive lineman get it set up and work to the linebacker level guys, and then go and hit it as opposed to being indecisive. So he did a nice job.
Coach, guys had some up and down moments since the start of the season. How beneficial is a game like today for his confidence?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, he had the punt returns that were a bit of a mess, but he had never done that, and so we just, I mean, the guys kept encouraging him through this, whether it was his coach Joe or whether Connor. I mean, they just kept encouraging. Then the players stuck by him. I mean, they could see how talented he was, and nobody looked at him cross-eyed. And that peer pressure is the strongest pressure in that case.
Go ahead, Bob.
Andy, in some ways, it probably defies description, the chemistry between Patrick and Travis, and you've tried to address it a lot of times, but I do wonder if there's any way to get your arms around what they're able to do with each other and out there.
Yeah, no, listen, we're a part of it, and that's the fun part. You'd like it to last forever, but these guys grow old, and it's not. So what I do is I try to enjoy every minute of it, every play, and their chemistry is ridiculous. Coming into this game that they had a plan for Kels, and we were able to, he was able to work. He and Pat were able to work through it and made some nice things happen.
Coming into training camp, we were talking about Mahomes trying to get everybody on the same page, new faces, and in this game we saw some of the same things with injuries. What does it take to get everybody on the same page, and then you have a minute 46 to go down and get a touchdown?
Yeah, well, sometimes there's not a lot of thinking involved, and you just go play. And whether you're the receiving part of that or you're the quarterback throwing it. And that's what I saw. I saw guys just, listen, you have to be there, and they were there. And I know I've got to get there, and I fight like crazy to make sure I'm there. And there's a time when you just have to get down to that part of it, and I thought the guys did that.
Andy, the feeling of belief must be off the charts when you got Patrick doing that. I mean, a minute 46, is there we know we're going to win this game?
Yeah, well, yeah, we've done it with 13 seconds, so a minute just seemed like an eternity. Matter of fact, I thought we gave them too much time because that other guy's pretty good too. So, yes, he gives you that confidence. The more you're around him, the more you watch him do what he does, you have a shot.
Coach, what does a win like this say with your rookies, Isaiah Pacheco, Watson, Sky Moore stepping up to the plate when we need it most?
Yeah, no, they've done a nice job of working hard, and it hasn't come just natural and easy. They've had to work their tail off to get themselves in a position where the quarterback trusts them or the coaches trust them to play them. So we appreciate that effort that they put forward, and I mentioned before, a little bit earlier that Brett Veach has done a nice job. I mean, you're seeing the results of this with all these young guys playing. And we appreciate that as a coaching staff.
Coach, you said Edwards-Helaire had a high ankle sprain. Does that indicate it's a serious?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough kid, but that doesn't look good. I mean, high ankle sprains with running backs aren't always the best. So we'll see. We'll see how he does in his recovery here, but it's pretty tender right now. Yeah.
Feel like he's going to go on IR?
I don't know. I haven't got that far.
Thank you.
An excited Big Red, but the whole Chiefs kingdom is excited. What a thrilling victory again in this $6 billion stadium. It's the Chiefs that cash in with a 30-27 victory. Last year it was Kelsey in a walk-off in overtime on Thursday Night Football. Now it's a Sunday Night Football game where the Chiefs get a 17-yard touchdown with 31 seconds to go to win this game and put a vice grip on the AFC West.
Wherever you are out in Chiefs Kingdom, take a moment and think about how Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, and this is your football team. And no matter what, you are never out of a football game. Even when the Chargers score with just under 2 minutes left, and this place is going crazy, Patrick Mahomes says, no, we're still going to win the game. Leads a game-winning drive, then the defense gets the interception to seal it. This team is awesome, and Patrick Mahomes is the MVP of the NFL because of plays like that.
And while you're thinking about it, then appreciate Travis Kelce.
Yes.
That's an all-time NFL record, 33 100-yard receiving games for a tight end. But now his comparison is to other great wide receivers in this league. But for his plays in this game, the 32-yarder that put the Chiefs up 23-20, and then to come back and make those plays at the end, we're witnessing two of the greatest to ever play in this game, and they're your quarterback and tight end.
For Travis Kelce, it was a refusal to lose throughout this game. Keep in mind, Derwin James was guarding him most of this game, one of the best safeties in the NFL. Travis Kelce says, no problem, has 6 catches for 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's one of 3 players now in the NFL this season to have 115 yards and 3 touchdowns, joining Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown. What a performance by him, and a huge game for the Chiefs.
A huge game for the defense, too. We're going to get to that in a second. But think of this. No Juju Smith-Schuster. No McCole Hardman. Kadarius Toney goes down with a hamstring injury. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Sky Moore steps up for some big plays. Justin Watson steps up. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a 20-yarder to start the 75-yard touchdown drive to win it. Other guys had to make plays, and the young guys made plays in this game.
Yeah, no excuses for the Chiefs, right? Sky Moore has 5 catches for 63 yards in this game, including 2 grabs on 3rd down. Jody Fortson with 2 grabs for 51 yards. What a catch down the sideline for Jody Fortson in this one. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a quiet night until it really mattered at the very end, had an 18-yard reception. Again, no excuses for the Chiefs offense. Patrick Mahomes, even though he's missing some of his playmakers, goes 20 of 34 for 329 yards and 3 touchdowns. Again, an MVP performance by him.
And let's don't overlook the offensive line here. Those guys had to block in that 75-yard touchdown drive. And then we're going to get to the defense in a second, but the offensive line was spectacular. How about a drive where the Chiefs ran the ball every time? That actually kind of flipped the game in their favor, but a drive of 8 straight runs.
We talked about how the running game could be a factor in this one. The Chargers have struggled against the run all year long, and Isaiah Pacheco, coming off a great game last week with 82 rushing yards, he set a personal best here today, 15 carries for 107 rushing yards. He answered the bell here in this one.
Chiefs win it 30-27. We're going to talk defense here in just a second because the Chiefs had 5 sacks in this game and really turned the game around in the second half. But now, let's go back to the podium here in Inglewood, California.
In the same building.
Yeah, I mean, we do this a lot. Coach Reed prepares us for these moments. We knew we had a lot of time on the clock. We knew we had some time out, so we didn't rush. We just kind of went through what we do every single day at practice and everything like that. And we executed. And I thought, obviously Travis, it's Travis. He's the greatest tight end of all time. He makes plays like that win games. But I thought a lot of young guys stepped up, and some guys that did not necessarily have those major roles stepped up on that drive as well. And so it's good to see with all those young guys out there.
It's awesome when you talk about that. I was asking Coach Reed about it, but the rookie stepping up, Pacheco, 107 yards rushing. Obviously, Sky Moore had his best game with the Chiefs along with Justin Watson. Talk about the play of the rookies tonight.
Yeah, we had a lot of new faces, man, and to see them excel in moments like these is special because obviously we've done it in this organization for a little bit now. But to have those new guys step right in and make those plays, especially not only on the offense. I mean, you look at the defense, man. I mean, it seemed like at one point all the DBs were rookies or new guys. And so, and I mean, George, I mean, we've done a great job of bringing a lot of talented players in here, and they've stepped up and made plays happen.
That last drive, how different, if at all, did it feel to go into it knowing you're down a couple guys that you've had most of the season? And
I try not to let it affect me. I joked about it during the week. It's, I just go through the reads unless Kelsey's manned up and I throw him the ball. So that's kind of my mindset. Obviously, teams have plans for Travis, and so guys are going to have to step up. And so when guys go down, I mean, obviously we didn't have Juju and McCole, and the KT goes down. I mean, Sky stepped up and made a lot of plays happen. That he stepped right into that same role. And I think you just credit the Veach, man. He brings a lot of good players in here, and so I can just go out there and go through my reads, and guys get open.
You weren't really joking about that with Kels, though, right?
No, I'm not joking at all. If he's man-to-man, I'm going to give him a chance. And, I mean, he's going to win most of them. I mean, obviously, they got Derwin, so Derwin's going to win his battles because he's like probably the best safety in the league. Yeah, I'm going to give my guy a chance because I know how special he is.
I'm not suggesting that Kelsey is ever unimportant to this team, but do you ever feel like he was more valuable given what the players you were missing than he was tonight?
But all the tight ends were. I mean, if you see, Jody made some plays, Noah made some plays, Travis obviously made some plays, but we stayed in a lot of bigger sets. We ran the football. I thought the offensive line did a heck of a job running the football, especially in that second half when we just let them eat and let them go out there and just run it. And then when we needed to make plays, guys stepped up and made plays. And so hopefully we can get healthier as the season goes on, get some of these guys back. That's the good thing about this team is that everybody's going to step up and make plays when it counts.
You all have a 3-game lead in the division after winning this game. What does that mean after an offseason of a lot of chatter that you talked about here?
Yeah, I mean, we're just taking it week by week. We take it day by day. We just try to get better. We knew we were going to grow this year. We're going to keep getting better and better. And I'm proud of our guys, man. We've played a lot of tough games against a lot of great teams, and we've stepped up and won. And so obviously it feels good now. It'll be a nice plane ride home. We got another Super Bowl champs coming to town next week, so we have to kind of prepare ourselves again when we go into this next week of practice.
Hey, back to Fonz a little bit. I saw that interaction with y'all on the sideline, the signed jersey and that. What did that mean?
Yeah, I mean, just being on that sideline is special. I mean, to be with those guys, to have the Chiefs Kingdom in the stadium, and be a part of this team, it is a special feeling. I know how lucky I am. I mean, I know when I talk to people that come from other places, and when I see what's going on around the league, I know how lucky I am to be in this organization, and so I try to just embrace it every day.
Hey, Patrick, to get back to Travis for a second, how valuable is he now with people going down? And like you talked about how the Chargers had a plan for him. What's special about him right now?
Yeah, I think what's special about him is he just competes. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to keep fighting until the very end. And that's when you see that, I think it not only is impressive for him, but it gets other guys going. It shows that, like I say, he's one of the best, not the best tight end of all time, and he's coming to work every single day to get better. And so that shows you whenever you step in the facility, you're like, man, I got to get to work. If this guy's doing it, I have to be able to at least match that. And so that leadership that he brings, as well as the play he brings in the field, is special, and it takes a lot off my shoulders.
Patrick, you've done it with 13 seconds, minute 46. Like coming on the field, what do you do with the huddle to get, to showing that confidence that you've been able to accomplish those last minute or second drive?
I actually thought it was cool today that when I went in the huddle, everybody was just like, let's just do it. But there was no doubt that we were going to go down there and score. There was no doubt that we were going to make it happen. And from the offensive line to the receivers to the running backs, tight ends, everybody was just had their mindset of let's take it one play at a time, get it down the field, and go out there and get a touchdown when it counts. And that's what we did.
Less surprised or less shocked when you guys are doing something like that since you've done it so many times?
No, I mean, you understand this league, it's always going to be hard. And I never will take that for granted. I mean, this league there's a lot of special players on both sides of the field. And so you go back to your fundamentals. You go back to not making it, hey, we have to get a touchdown right now. We have to get a touchdown. It's one play at a time. How can I execute this play, move on to the next play, and keep it going? And that's usually when the good stuff happens is you just can really focus on what you have to do to make that play work.
Along that same line, as a quarterback, tell us what the feeling's like. You're backed up deep in your end, and you know the game is on the line. You can't make a mistake, and you successfully lead your team all the way down the field.
Yeah, I've seen enough now that until the clock's at 0, I don't celebrate. But I mean, obviously you're excited. Just trying to get the job done, try to win the game. You put in so much work. I mean, everybody does. You put in so much work, and to get that win, it shows that work is paying off. And so all that time that you're in the building, that you're away from your family, whenever you can have a drive like that, you can tell that it's worth it. And then you get to go home and be with your family and enjoy it with them.
Last two. Go ahead, Lonnie.
Patrick, a lot of your chemistry with Travis is obviously because of the work, and you've got a great rapport with a lot of the guys you play with, of course. But is there any different way to describe what it is that enables you and Travis to have the same sort of points of reference on everything and same wavelength?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot of reps. First off, we've played a lot of football together now. I joke around, I'm getting old in this locker room now already. So we've played a lot of football together, done a lot of reps. But he's just a competitor. I'll say it. I think that's the best talent that Travis has. No, not the size, the speed, the route running, is that he will compete to the very end, and he's going to go down fighting. And so I respect that. I think that I'm the same way, as I'm going to do whatever I can to win no matter what the score is. And we have a lot of guys like that on this team. And I think that's what makes great teams, is guys that won't give up even when it doesn't look great.
Patrick, I know you don't have time tonight, but did you make plans to take Henry Winkler up on his dinner offer?
Oh, I already told him I was, so I didn't have time this weekend. But hopefully we can win a lot of games and try to win the Super Bowl, and then I'll be back in LA at some point and take him up on that.
Thank you.
A lot of heroes in this one as the Chiefs win at 30-27 over the Chargers. This is one right here, number 51, Mike Dana. Okay, 2 sacks in this game against Justin Herbert. Well, let's just start with what flipped this game defensively, because they're sitting at 20 at halftime. What flipped it?
Well, it's getting that time in the season where a lot of games are starting to rack up at the end, starting to really, count, towards something bigger. We worked hard, man. A lot of preparation went into this week. And, we're looking forward to, the next opponent coming up. We're going to stack this week, enjoy it tonight, be ready to move on tomorrow.
Let's talk about your 2 sacks. First of all, you came in the middle, so little trickery there by Spags. What about working the A-gap?
Yeah, man, just being versatile. I was playing left D tackle. Our whole D-line is full of versatile dudes that can play, D-end, D tackle. So, we worked together on a rush. It was a unit effort, and, I got freed up, and, I got, the tally of the sack.
What about your other one? Tell us about that. What was the key there?
Once again, just teamwork, man. It wasn't even my own individual effort. It was, 2, teammates on the D-line working together, communicating, running the game, running the twist, and, got home. It was great. It was a great call. It was a great game.
So many things happen in this game, like any NFL game, but your stop at the end of the second quarter to hold them to a field goal, how big was that? Because they're going to get the ball again to start third quarter.
Every drive is huge, man. We don't ever want to let up any points on the field or let an offense drive down on the field on us. But, to only give up 3 points and, not a touchdown was a huge difference maker. So we got to keep on stacking on games like that and, like I said, move on to the next one.
Chris Jones. I just feel like we're taking him for granted. How much is he just a monster this year?
He's awesome, man. He's having a hell of a year. He's having, he keep doing what he's going to do. He's going to have a career year. He's a monster, like you said. Every 3 downs, 4 downs, he's making a play, making his presence known. He's been a problem, So having him on the other side is great. I learned a lot from him. He's a great teammate, a great human.
One more question. It deals with you mentioned teamwork, but how is it you got so many guys, and how big is that you don't have to grind it out like 60 snaps? You guys can kind of pass the baton.
Oh, it's huge, man, because, when you got people you can depend on to take a load off you, off another player, then, you get recovery, bodies start to hold up longer, and, it's a lot of great communication, man. It's a lot of team organization that comes with that, too. Everybody's ready, and we're all depending on everybody, so. You got your 111th, and you got to do it.
Happy Thanksgiving. What are you going to do?
Be with the family, man. Eat good, eat some great turkey.
And go get the Rams. What a game for this guy, number 51, Mike Dana, 2 sacks in this game.
Mahomes to Kelsey, what's that like in a big game like that?
That game was a lot more than just Mahomes to me, man, and it's that's why it was so fun. You got a guy like Sky Moore coming up big throughout the entire game. On top of that, Justin Watson, even in that last drive for us. Marquez gets his going early. Pat makes a huge play with his feet. It's just those are the best, man. Those are the best. When everybody gets a piece of the pie, that's the best.
When you follow up and looking at those rookies, especially on both sides of football, how important is it as you progress and hopefully get to the playoffs, is their play in the way that they contribute to the team?
Well, it's important that they're going to have how would I put this? They're going to have battle wounds, right? They're going to have things that happen throughout a game, throughout a season, that they're going to have to learn from it. And it typically happens when they lose on a play, maybe how we lose in a game, and then we learn from it and we get better because of it. And it's jobs like and it's puts it on us as leaders to be able to get them to follow along and be able to find a way to win those games, even when it is situation for the young guys.
Travis, when the Chargers score and you guys are getting ready to go back out there for the game-winning drive, basically, I wonder what you're saying, what you're thinking, and if you could just explain the emotion of scoring that touchdown and what that feels like when they're doing so much to.
This is what we practice, man. This is what we practice day in, day out. Throughout the offseason, Coach Eric Bieniemy stresses a lot about situational football, and 2 minutes to win the game, down 4. That's a situation that we harp on a lot, and it's just a whole lot of fun, and the emotion to be able to persevere through that, man. It's like a ticking time bomb, man. Once you get in the end zone, man, you just explode.
You just fired that ball, right?
Yeah, sorry if I hit somebody. I don't have a whole lot of accuracy with this thing. That's why I moved the tight end. Sorry about that.
How much?
They played a lot of man coverage, and Derwin James probably got the better of me throughout the entire game. But I was fortunate that Pat and Coach Reed kept coming to me, kept dialing me up in situations, and I was able to finish the game off on a positive note. But that's a great defense, man, and it's just definitely a great secondary, and hats off to them for sure.
You've been a great tight end for a long time.
I appreciate
With all
that.
the experience that you have, what's even better about your game now than say last year before?
Man, I would say I was kind of talking about I'm an older dog, man. Throughout my years I just learned from situations that I've been through on the football field, situations that I've seen on the football field, and I just keep accumulating all that data and just put it in this computer up here and hope that I can use it to my advantage when the time's needed, man. And that's kind of where I'm at with it at that.
Travis,
hold on. We got to roll real quick. We're going to go Adam, then Nate, Aaron, Eric, and then we're going to roll.
Travis, any more sense than normal that you had to make some plays tonight, given the fact Juju didn't play, McCole didn't play, and Kadarius went out real early?
Yeah, we didn't have our full arsenal of weapons, man, and that's knowing that it was going to be an opportunity. I personally was ready for the matchup. I knew they were going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and I knew that Pat was going to be looking for me when it was one-on-one coverage. So it was a lot of understanding what they were trying to do to stop us, and then on top of that, just going out there and trying to be a better football team.
Nate,
does it feel any different winning the game this year versus what you did last year against the Chargers?
This one feels damn good. I know that. Honestly, I put the other one in the back pocket already.
Pat mentioned he feels like your competitive nature is your best attribute over any of the physical traits or whatever. I know you're a professional athlete. Everybody's competitive. But where does that competitive fire come from as you enter, year 10?
Man, just my appreciation for the game. My appreciation for the guys before me to give me the platform and the opportunity to do what I do today. The Kansas City fans, the organization, there's a lot of people in this building that pour their heart into this entire, orchestra of things, and I just put it on my back and just lead with my heart to be able to go out there and perform and be accountable for those people. And I don't know, it was just the way I was raised, I guess.
Travis, how much do you look forward to the matchups with Durr? I know you're going to face him twice a year, and then what happened on the last play there where you were able to shake loose?
Yeah, like I said, man, he's the best, one of the best, if not the best in the league. He got the better of me for the majority of the game, and it's one of those things where you hope to get the right things dialed up at the right moments. And sure enough, at the end of the game, I knew he was kind of sitting on my outside shoulder on a lot of the stuff. So anything vertical and anything outside, he was locking me up pretty good. And Coach Reed saw that and called a play where I could just get across field and try and beat him with my legs. These old 33 legs, man. But it was like I said, man, I was just fortunate that Coach Reed and Pat never lost faith in me and my abilities to get open against a great cover guy like that.
Your name is continue to be etched in stone. Past Rob Gronkowski for the most 100-yard touchdown or 100-yard games in NFL history, man. What is that feeling like for you?
Got a whole lot of respect for Rob, man. Just to be in that conversation is pretty damn cool, man. Shout out to the 87s out there, baby. Let's see if we can get a few more.
Back here, the Chiefs get the victory over the Chargers, 30-27, scoring in the last 31 seconds of the game. Let's talk defense here, because this game, the Chargers had 20 points at halftime, and the Chiefs got 3 stops early in the second half, which flipped this game around. But and young defenders. We talked about earlier in the show. You know, we've heard interviews here, we've heard from the podium. But let's talk about these young defenders and how they had to step up tonight.
Yeah, and this defense as a whole, when called upon, stepped up in a big way. So Patrick Mahomes and the offense will get credit for the comeback in the end, but that comeback does not happen if the defense doesn't make some big plays in the middle of this game. So consider this. The Chargers were up 13-7 with the ball at the Chiefs' 2-yard line near the end of the first half, and they were set to get the ball at the beginning of the second half. It's not looking good for the Chiefs in that instance, but the defense finds a way to hold them to a field goal at the end of that drive, and then consecutive punts for the Chargers to begin the second half. The defense stepped up in a huge way and allowed the offense to get back into it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That stand near the end of the second quarter ended up being huge and decisive because they could have gone to a double-digit lead in this game. Neither team got to a double-digit lead ever in this game. But young guys had to step up. Juan Thornhill goes out, so Brian Cook, who's been a luxury in the 3 safeties, had to be out there a lot. We saw Trent McDuffie make plays. Same way with Watson and McDuffie, Joshua Williams as well. But the linebackers, Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr., and 5 sacks in this game. Chris Jones is playing at an all-pro level. He is the top-rated interior defensive lineman by Pro Football Focus. He played that way tonight.
I believe he has 6 sacks in his last 5 games. And when you have players like Chris Jones, you want those sacks to occur in huge moments, right? And we keep seeing that over and over again. He's making huge plays when the Chiefs need it the most. The Chargers still had 30 seconds to get down and just kick a field goal. Send this game to overtime. Chris Jones said, nope, I'm going to sack Justin Herbert and then force Herbert into a bad throw. Then Nick Bolton then picked off a play later.
He actually tried a quarterback draw, easily executed late in the game because the Chiefs are thinking they're going to throw a long pass, and Chris Jones was waiting right there for him. As I said on the radio, they put up a cinder block, stone cold for sure. And then it was just poetic to me that Nick Bolton got that interception at the end of the game, because he is having a Pro Bowl all-pro year. And he's doing it against the run, he's doing it against the pass. He has been phenomenal this year.
And he also forced the fumble on Keenan Allen earlier in the game. I understand it ended up not mattering. Jarrett McKinnon fumbled on the Chiefs' next possession, but still, 2 takeaways for Nick Bolton in this game. He's one of the best linebackers already in the NFL, and only his 2nd season as a pro. Huge plays for him throughout the night.
And let's be honest here. Harrison Butker, field goals, got him when you needed him, and was outstanding on the kickoffs. Harrison Butker was back tonight.
Yeah, every single point was important for the Chiefs here. Butker, a place where he's kicked some really big field goals in his career. He was ice water in his veins once again here in this one on Sunday Night Football.
Okay, this week now, Thanksgiving week, the Rams come to town for Sunday afternoon football at 3:25 at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Probably not going to have Matthew Stafford, but the Chiefs injury report talked about Kadarius Toney, Clyde Edwards-Helaire going right down the line. No, maybe Juju Smith-Schuster. We'll see. Losing Juan Thornhill. This is going to be an interesting week getting ready for the Rams.
It will. No Cooper Kupp for the Rams as well. So they're missing one of the best players in all of football to an injury, I believe to his ankle. Yep. But first, before we look at the Rams, let's take 10 seconds to think about how the Chiefs now have a 3-game lead in the division and basically a 4-game lead if you include the tiebreaker, with only 7 games left to go. Got to make sure they keep their foot on the gas, though, and that's where it's important looking at this Rams game. Can't celebrate this one for too long. It's Sunday night. First thing Monday morning, got to be thinking about the LA Rams.
The Chiefs, since the beginning of 2016, are 34-5 against the AFC West. Let that one soak in for just a little bit. Rematch games, Andy Reid, 22-5 in rematch games since the beginning of 2016. Enjoy your family during these Thanksgiving holidays and enjoy this football team. The Kansas City Chiefs are 8-2. Now get ready for the Rams. For Matt McMullen, I'm Mitch Holthus. Happy Thanksgiving, Chiefs Kingdom.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.